projects, I have to take it through a process that I use for each opportunity, and it helps me. It keeps me from spending and avoiding too much unwanted time of me trying to filter through all of these solicitations. So I just like to make my life easier. I don't want to stress. I don't want to be troubled behind certain things. So I put together strategies and systems and things that I've implemented over the years that's helped me. Okay, so let me get my ice cube on real quick. Here's my ice cube. All right, so if I haven't introduced myself, I'm George. Um, I go by George, the professional biz coach. I ain't I ain't new to this government contracting. I'm just new to this podcast and stuff. So I'm really not that I'm uncomfortable, but I've been behind the scenes doing other things, and it's time for me to step up and really get out here and serve a purpose to help people get into an industry that I know that's making people instant millionaires. And people don't talk about government contracting. Why? It's a secret. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know about this. You don't hear a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of people that secretly are into government contracting, and they don't tell their friends. They don't share it. They don't do none of that. Why is that? Okay, so just know it's beneficial. But anyway, I'm gonna get into this topic of conversation about SAMs. Okay, and again, I'm gonna go into some nuances of it. So again, like my content, subscribe to my channel, put some comments in there if you want to hear some more interesting topics or anything that you have questions or concerns about. Hit me in the comments.
Continue to navigate through the SAMs process. This is a fundamental step in you determining the different contracting opportunities that are available to small businesses via the government agencies. And they basically post solicitations on this site for products, services, and that will pretty much be on a daily basis. So anyway, so when you want to go, let's start from the beginning because I was already in here. But when you want to start searching for contracting opportunities, or again setting up your SAM's database, you want to get started here. Now, I'm currently logged in, so I don't want to go through these processes because it's going to interfere with where I'm at. But for you to get started, this is where you go to. You can also download the actual checklist here on this site. So you got to come down here to the lower context of it. Let me see here. Let's see, where is it normally at? Let me just go get started. Here we go. Okay. Get the registration status here. And let's see, checklist entity registration checklist right here. This is what you want to download. So you want to get started in government contracting, go to get started, and then you download the entity registration checklist. Okay. So when I go to look for contracting opportunities, I go through a process of where I can either hit keywords of what I want to look for, or I can do an advanced search. And then I drill down to these filters here, and I can look by either the organization via dates, notice type, which is normally what I do is I'll go either here. Okay. I'll do either a source of salt, which is basically me um, trying to get ahead of the opportunity before it hits the market. So oftentimes the government will do what is called a source of salt, where they're doing a market research. And so they may post um, detailed information about a particular project that they're looking to set up, and they need some qualified contractors to respond to their source of salt. So it's just basically a way for you as a government contractor to get ahead of that solicitation before it hits the market by you providing the government with um, some expert analysis, or technical experience, or pretty much get just detailing out how they can structure a project of what they're looking for. Okay, so it just basically gives them details of how they can actually solicit for that kind of contract, and then you in turn are setting up a relationship with that agency. So that's just a little bit about source of salt. Then you got pre-solicitation, solicitation, combined synopsis, award notices. So you got various ways. Okay. Um, my place of where I really focus on is the set asides. Now, you have different set asides. You have total, small, partial, 8A, and they're all basically categorized and broken down. So I am a service disabled veteran owned business. So if I wanted to go and see which set asides were out there for my veteran owned business, what solicitations that are actually posted, then I will uh, select service disabled veteran owned as my set aside and just basically stroll through and just see anything that's out there, anything that catches my eye that I like, anything that I see that I could easily make some nice money on. Now, I normally do janitorial, but for the most part, some of these janitorial contracts be coming with just too much um, verbiage, just too much. I like janitorial, but it's just easier for me now to focus on many other things versus my niche, because janitorial is my niche, but not that I don't, succeed in it. I've done very well, but sometimes these can be, they got its pros and cons. But anyway, um, this may be one I want to check out for later on. I'll set this one to the side because I'm actually um, live on this thing, and so you see what I see. But they just posted this 2 days ago, so pretty new. So it's something that I want to look into. So let me follow that. Just hit the follow button. Then I can go to download this. So I'll tag this janitorial. Okay, let's see, VA affairs. Okay. All right. Then I'll hit PDF single, which gonna single file detail is gonna attach all files. So it's gonna basically zip it to you. And you zip it to your downloads and boom, you got them. You ain't got to do nothing after that. All right. So now this one is due the 22nd. That's in a couple of weeks. Services segment, yep. Yeah, so okay. Go back. All right. So let's exit out of that one. Let me go to total, small, and partial. I like these right here contracts. I like total and partial. Um, attended award source. So Oh, that's not a quote. Hmm. Solicitation. Okay. Nothing catches my eye. So, and that's okay because they post every single day. And I could exit out of this thing and then go right back in it. And the first one that I saw, see, they've already changed again. So they've already updated it just as I just did that little action right there with me going all the way to the bottom and selecting more results. It already at the top of the page posted a new solicitation today. So that's just how fast this thing goes. But either way, I don't like if I'm on here and I'm strolling and I don't see something that catches my eye, then I just, I'll go to some of my other low hanging fruit contracts, because, I'm a man of many things and I like to do many things. So I don't engage in trying to spend too much time on projects. Sometimes people can get into like let's say construction. If you're in the construction projects, like if you're taking on a construction project, you have to have a great deal of hands-on with those type of contracts. There's a great deal of hands-on, and I'm talking from a management as well as owner's perspective. There's a lot of you being involved in that business model, and me personally, uh, I like passive income over any other kind of income. So I've dedicated over 24 years of my life, you know, in a career. And once I ended that, you know, I decided that retirement and working for myself was the best alternative. And in doing so, uh, it taught me the value of a lot of things. You know, what I've noticed about today, and this is not off topic, but there's a lot of new emerging industries that are popping up, and AI being one. So imagine the amount of revenue that's going to start pouring into that whole entire industry in the AI industry. I mean, right now, a lot of it's in the beta phase, I guess. But for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of new apps, a lot of new features. And the point that I'm making is that it's incorporating itself into government contracting. Okay. And so just kind of, always try to stay ahead of what's going on in what industry or what sector that you are operating in, because what could potentially happen is that we all know the economy and the way that the industry works. Certain things may not work. Okay, for an example, you have uh, times when real estate or when the stock market or when um, other industries are not performing. So in so many words, you got to diversify. So government contracting is one of my diversifications. One thing that I definitely like about government contracting is that it requires, like, it depends on how you want to, be. You can be like one of those companies that are pursuing those mega contracts, which we all desire to do, but it takes a team, it takes you building it, and so me personally, that is a vision that I have for government contracting, but my sole purpose in life is to build a kingdom, okay? A kingdom being, my home and a family and, um, where my family can always have something that's coming in for generations to come. Okay. So I look into industries that I know that has longevity because the way that the market is always gone, the market has a way of turning upside down in a year's time. We've experienced it in very a lot of different industries. I'm gonna give you an example. During COVID, there were a lot of different industries or different businesses that closed, and of course, that was um, a reason during the pandemic that a lot of businesses closed. But what I was looking at what businesses were sustaining, what things were still doing, what things were still working. Because when something ain't working here, I can always go here or, continue to just diversify myself. And this is just an avenue. This is a vehicle. This vehicle has helped me create other vehicles and do other things. So, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm supposed to be talking about searching. So, I always like to give a logic behind, why people should do government contracting. It just comes with so much benefit to me. So like something like this, for an example, is on the 19th. The government is looking for a tent. Let's just see what this is. I don't know. This may be one of those ones where I'll be like, nah, I don't want to do this one because it may require me to have to do too much groundwork. Okay, textile bags and canvas mills, texture leather, tent bag. Okay, they need 30 tents. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. I think I found one, y'all. Let's see. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So here's what I like to do. First and foremost, when something that strikes my interest, I have to first of all download it. Only because sometimes when I like if I am working on a searching for an opportunity and I come on here, oh, it looks like I already got it downloaded though. There it is right there. Is that it? Hmm. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna save this one. I'm going to save this one here. Follow. And I think I already downloaded it, but I'm gonna download it again just in case. Okay. All right. Anyway. All right. So we as government contractors, we got different strategies, different ways that we can search for opportunities on here. And it just all really depends on what level you really want to get into. So, you can make a $200,000, 200K in just micro purchases. And that's probably, one of the best kept secrets of government contracting for, entry level individuals. And then, you have the big guys. You have the simplified acquisitions and the combined synopsis. You have, here we go. Let me show you. Okay. the combined synopsis. Okay. And you just have so many different avenues. I see this option, this option, this option, and all of these are strategies right here, if you would. Because you can use these you can use each of these ways to gain contracts. A source of salt, which I was explaining earlier, is when the government does their market research. Okay. And they're looking for a potential not only uh, a potential contractor to who could perform the work. Okay. So, this is your chance to get in front of that. So you do that by uh, sending your information back to the government's agency to in response to what they're asking for. So that's a strategy. And there's just so many other different ways that you can navigate in government contracting to make great passive income. Because I look at it in multiple ways. I mean, it's a engine or a vehicle. I like to call it a vehicle because it's a vehicle that can help you grow your your existing business and it be a 7 figure business, in a year's time versus the 3 to 4 to 5 years it normally takes for a business to grow. So, just give you an example. I used to do janitorial. Well, I still do janitorial, but I'm talking when I was commercial contracting. I was doing commercial contracting and I was doing real well in commercial contracting. I may had about I was in a central location and I had like 3 counties, I guess. But in that central location where I was, it was probably spread out about 11 different locations. Okay. And those 11 different locations, my invoicing was roughly around 11 to 12 uh thousand a month. Okay. Pretty good. I mean, nice size contracts. Then I got my very first uh government contract. My very first government contracting was 3 times the amount invoiced a month than the 12, the 11 to the 12 that I was getting for 10. So, I mean, you go to making 30K a month, just based off of a contract that you were awarded via the government. To me, it's a no-brainer. But, a lot of people may see that different, but that's just my take on it. And I'm not giving no any financial advice. I just basically want to kind of give you the reasoning behind why I feel government contracting is a great benefit. You know, so it gives you the opportunity to just tap into other industries and grow your business tremendously. It happens to me. It happens to many other people who get into it. Now, there are individuals who get into it and, they may see, well, I've been in it for a year and I haven't been awarded a contract. You know, uh, Government contracting, when I first started, I think I had only one advantage. I was affiliated with the military. I go ahead and just tell you I was in the military. Not that I'm ashamed to say it. I just, I don't like to talk much about that because I feel like for people to um, want to hear my content is not predicated on me just throwing a bunch of accolades and things like that. I don't try to use titles and I'm not big on that. So just know it ain't that I didn't want to say I was in the military, it's just that I'm kind of not big on certain things like that. I'm not big on titles and whatever. So, but okay, I lost my train of I got a little bit off the topic, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so here's just in a nutshell. I mean, when you go on Sam's and you come on this site, you know, I tr I tr I normally get them that come to my email, but then too sometimes I like to just come in here because everything in here I haven't set notifications on. Okay, so I have where I have contracts where I've already set notifications to receive notifications, which I'll get my notifications here. Okay. All right, go there. This. Hmm. Well, let me just go back real quick to set aside. I just want to see one more thing. Then all right. Okay. Royal Carrier Service contract. Been seeing a lot of those ones lately. I can remember one contract that I was on. It was a janitorial contract, but it had multiple services. Those are the big contracts with the multiple services. So this janitorial contract had um, two companies that were joint ventured. Okay, and one did the majority of the janitorial, and the other company took the linen contract as well as the hazardous disposal hazardous waste disposal. Okay. Took that portion of the contract and a few of other little like landscaping and things like that. Because this was a facility services or facility, yeah, I would think it was called a facility services contract. And those particular contracts are like multiple services. And as me being a part of this contract, like seeing all the different um the different like nuances. That's what really got me intrigued about it. Is just seeing how all of it, how it came together, how the, because I was a part of the decision making on this contract. I was a part of that team, so I played a intricate role in the success of this contract, and I have to say that it taught me a lot about uh, contracting from a holistic level. Like I'm all way in the weeds when I think about contracting. I look at the budget. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm following the numbers. I'm following when the budget is posted, when it's due. Are there anything like government shutdowns that may have? I'm looking at all of that. So I don't just come on here to analyze and kind of get my analysis here. I have to follow the money as well. Okay, but the basis of these contracts here, though, are the ones where I really like. Oh man, yes, they need referees. Look at here. You got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. This is a referee contract, recreational. Uh, they need some. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Wow. Wow. So they need referees and umpires, line judges, back judges, scorekeepers for all of these. Okay. Hmm. See, I like these. I like these. This is what I like. Why do I like those? You ain't got to do nothing. I just find the people to do it and get my cut, keep it pushing. Yep. I like these right here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry to be doing this, y'all, but if I don't do it, then I'll forget because I be doing multiple things. You see, I got all these screens open right here. All these are different solicitations. That's a different one. That's a different one. This one, right? Yeah, that's a different one. That's a Q&A. That's a different one. That's a different one. That's a different one. That there is a different page. That's my Sam's, and that's a solicitation. So yeah, I got all this open, man. You know, I got all this open. So, but that's the way I operate, man. Believe it or not, I don't get confused when I do that. Sometimes I do have to close things down because I'll get off track. I'll see an email pop up or something. So I just close out my email. But yeah, this is this is 13th. Wait a minute. Okay. This is okay. Got it. Got it. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. Yeah. So, and that's the basis of Sam. So Sam's has got to be one of my go-tos for when I look to, you know, gravitate to what's good in the season. Government contracting is also one. Now, I own a trucking company. Sometimes trucking ain't right now, trucking ain't so hot. Okay. It ain't so hot. So, but hey, that's the nature of the beast. That's the way it go. All right. So right now I'm trying to just get these contracts popping, keep them things flowing, keep them going. I got one on deck right now that I'm working on, getting it sent out. And I try to, stay consistent with that and with other things as well. But more than anything, what I really want you to understand about the the opportunities in this is that you can meet some great people. You meet some great individuals. I've met some great people that I've partnered with, done business with, and you know, been a part of some opportunities where you've given communities and developed communities and helped. I was a part of a contract where we had to hire um, locals from an area that was devastated by a storm, and it tore up an entire community. And my company was a part of that initiative, and it feels good. Not only that you can make money, but you're actually helping people. Like that's more gratifying for me than anything else. So I take pleasure in being a part of opportunities where I can serve, where I can help, whether it be um, from a charitable standpoint or whether it be from a rescue standpoint. That's a purpose that I really feel I am here for. So, but government contracting again is a excellent vehicle, and I encourage any and everyone who has not considered it to just take some time off and learn some information about it, and you can do that by following my content, following my page. I try to stay with the basics of it because I've seen people on here speak about government contracting, and they put out some great information, but they're speaking to an audience that a lot of times you forget the ones who don't understand. So that's my job, is to try to reach those who don't understand, to give them the chance to see it from a lens of a person who's a realist, because I'm a realist about it. It's some challenges about it as well. But with the right strategy, the right tools, the right resources, the right assistance, you know, you can be very marketable and profitable in it. And when I say marketable, I mean to the point to where agencies will contact you. Okay. If you think about a lot of like I don't know if you like, I'm a deep person when it comes to government contracting. I know the top 5 government contractors. And and I see these guys, and they've been top 5 for forever. I mean, like, they never go nowhere. And like there's a thing called national size standards. Uh it's the NEEX code. It has something to do with the size standards of companies. Let me explain this to you. Okay. So you'll fully understand this from a how this thing works. So you have a business who is let's say 100 employees, right? Then you have some that's 1,000. Then you have some that's 1,000,000. Now, when it gets to certain sizes, there are contracting opportunities where those big companies that are certain sizes, they can't pursue those because they want to keep this even. They want to keep the playing field even. They want to make sure everybody, small businesses and big businesses, make money. But the big businesses, what they've gotten smart, and what they do is, because they'll get capped out on a size and standard that they can no longer bid on these contracts. You know what they do? They set up another company. They'll set up another company, or they'll subcontract an opportunity. So, not to say that I'm not imposing that they're doing anything illegal, but they're following they're following guidelines that, obviously, the government doesn't have an issue with it, because, I can take, for an example, Lockheed Martin is, their aerodynamics and aerospace and engineering and whatnot. But some of the contracts that they've had over 30 years. They've had contracts where they've had contracts for years, decades. And that's almost like, in the contracts that I mostly have dealt with, max is 5 years. But the point that I'm making is that when you look at these large companies and how they're able to stay relevant, because they they also, know the nuances of it. So I follow them, and I see how they maneuver. There's a company called ABM. ABM is an engineering company. If you ever walk through, let's say, and I don't know, if you ever pay attention, please, the next time you in an airport, pay attention to who's cleaning this facility. Why I say that is because that is a government contract. So there's a company called ABM, and like I said, they're engineering, or something to do with engineering, or something to that effect. But ABM has managed to build a company. Excuse me. Let me grab something to drink. They've managed to build a company that not only has landscaping, I'm talking large, huge landscaping contracts, janitorial contracts. I mentioned ABM, or I mentioned the airports. If you see ABM, I mean, if you go to most of your big, large airports, ABM is the one that's doing the janitorial. Okay, so they have a multitude of different subsidiaries within their company, and that's their way of maintaining that dominance in the top five. Okay, so but yeah, I don't want to try to go too deep into what I be talking about, but I also like to speak with facts and with numbers, so that way individuals can always take time to process it, because you process it better when you have numbers and when you have facts, or when you have like not facts but reference points where I can send you somewhere to go read what I'm telling you for yourself. And I'm not just saying this. I'm telling you for a reason, because I've read it out of the manuals, or I've read it through one of the awards or addendums, or all of the different requirements that come out. Okay, I do a lot of searching and a lot of researching in this stuff. So not that I know everything, but for the most part, I'm pretty much like a person who wants to analyze. I want to analyze it, and I want to be able to process it to the point to where it's advantageous towards me. And so, because you never want to go after something with the intention of failing or losing. I mean, you know, but it just gives me more competitive advantage if, you know, I take a little time to research a little more. Okay. Hmm. I can search by um I gotta know their name though. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. All right. So that is pretty cut and dry with this. It's not very difficult to navigate in it. I mean, you'll have to do some playing around if you want to go into more of the entity information, and it talks a little bit about the disaster response registry. Okay, that's a great way to gain contracts, as I spoke about earlier. When I was a part of a recovery relief operation, and so that was a contract through the FEMA, which was responding to the national disaster, response, whatever, where and it comes down from higher, whoever, sends the immediate funds. Because it's like when you're responding to a disaster, like, like a hurricane or something like that, it's going to take logistics. It's going to take, resources to come in and try to help, sustain what the people that was still, affected by it. And it's a lot involved. So I got a chance to see that all, see it, be a part of that as well. So, but that's what that's about. So yeah, you could just go and do some research and do your due diligence, I would say. It's always good to check things for yourself, verify for yourself, because you can't just take everybody's word for it, I guess. All right. So I think that's all that I have to share for SAMs.gov today. I definitely appreciate the uh the time to for you to allow me to do this. And if you have any questions, hey, feel free to comment, hit the subscribe, and stay tuned for more information that I'll be sharing. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's see. Ooh, excuse me.